Call to order the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, October 19th, 2023. Present at the front table to my far left is Jessica Vitale, a voting member. Next to Jessica is Ed McGargy, a voting member. Hello. My left, Ernie Angela, our solicitor.
Hello.
My right, Bill Rose, a voting member. Next to Bill, Jesse Poyton, a voting member.
Billy's.
Way down yon, Margie Buchanan, a right-hand woman. We have three new cases, one of which is going to be continued to November 2nd. May as well get that out of the way first. That's case Z23-26, Lanark Country Club, owner of 950 Westchester Pike, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2209-0271500, who seeks a variance from the provisions of section 182602C7 to construct a 90-foot high protective net with fencing exceeding the maximum height restriction of 35 feet, in accordance with an order of the Delaware County Court of Common Pleas. Property is owned institutional and located in the 2nd Ward. We received a written request about a week ago from the applicant's attorney requesting a continuance to our November 2nd hearing. So that case is continued to November 2nd.
And for the record, the applicant did waive all time requirements associated with holding the hearing.
Our first new case, therefore, is, Billy will lead us in the pledge.
Yep. So please rise if you can and repeat after me. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. This is a long one, wait. This is a long one.
Anything to do with the game.
Therefore, our first case is now Z23-24, Sleepy Valley Holdings, LLC, owner of 774 Lawson Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2208-0064900, who seeks variances from the provisions of section 182713B to allow the subdivision of lot where the existing structures are to remain non-conforming in the following respect: a porch encroaching into the 30-foot front yard setback by 12.1 feet, section 182206C5A, and an overhang and bay window to encroach into the 8-foot side yard setback by 3.1 feet and 2.3 feet, and in combination with the garage overhang to encroach on the aggregate side yard setback by 5.4 feet. Section 182206C6A. In addition, variances are sought from section 182206C1 to allow a lot area of 5,983 square feet where 6,000 square feet is required, and section 182720C6 to permit the proposed house and associated features on lot 2 within areas of steep slope, as well as a special exception from section 182720C5A for storm piping in steep slopes. Property is zoned R4 and located in the 8th Ward. Hey, Fred.
Thank you, Mr. Hank. Good evening. I'm Fred Fromhold, attorney. I represent the applicant in this case, Sleepy Valley Holdings, LLC. And the board may remember that we were here a little over a year ago on this property. The hearing sort of got started, but then stopped. And we ultimately withdrew that application and proceeded in a different fashion. And we're back here tonight with what is essentially the same application and the same request for relief. And I'll go through with you a little bit of the history, what happened in the interim, and why we're back here tonight. What I'd like to do initially is hand out exhibit packages to each of you.
Thank you, Fred.
Do you have one for yourself?
I do. I thought I had.
Okay.
I thought I had enough there. So before we get into the exhibits, and I'd like to run through them with you so you understand what we're doing. As I said, we were here a year ago, and at that time there were a number of requests for relief, as has been noted by the chairman reading the application and going through what those specific requests are. But we, at that time, we're looking at a two-lot subdivision of this property, and the intention when we were here before, as it is tonight, was to keep the house, the existing home, the driveway, and the detached garage, and build a new home, one new home on an adjacent lot that would be subdivided. When we appeared before the board, there was some opposition. It might, as we later learned, it was really isolated to certain individuals who did not live on the street, but lived somewhat remotely in Haverford Township, but were remote. We were concerned about getting hung up in protracted zoning proceedings and possible appeals. So what we did is we withdrew the application, and we submitted a subdivision application to the Board of Commissioners that created two conforming lots. One of the requests for relief here is for an undersized lot, a lot that's a little bit short of the minimum required lot area in the R4 district. So we went in with a subdivision plan for two conforming lots, and we proceeded with that plan. It was reviewed by staff, by Planning Commission, County Planning Commission, Board of Commissioners. And as we went through the process, we kept getting feedback that we should preserve the existing home and the garage and the existing improvements, and only build one new home rather than creating two new homes on this site. Where we wound up there is we went before the Board of Commissioners, and they approved that plan. They approved the two-lot subdivision plan that would have two new homes on this site. But they approved it subject to a condition that we come back before you and seek approval of what we had originally sought. That was the variances that would be necessary to do a two-lot subdivision while maintaining the existing home. And their resolution, which is one of the exhibits that we'll present to you, effectively approved two subdivision plans. It approved the subdivision plan for two new homes, but it was conditioned upon our coming back before you to see whether we could get the variances we need. And if we do get the variances, then they have approved our going forward with the subdivision plan that keeps the existing home, garage, driveway, and so forth, and creates one new building opportunity.
I just want to make sure I understand. So you have saldo approval from the commissioners that would give you the option that if we grant variances to allow lot 2 to be undersized, you can keep the house, the existing house. If we did not, then the idea is you've already been through land development and you can knock it down and build 2 by right.
That's correct. And if we do get the approval from you, we already have their subdivision approval. We don't need to go back to them for approval of a two-lot subdivision plan that would keep the existing home. With that, we accepted that condition. So we were willing to do that, hoping that when we came back before you that we would not have opposition, would not get involved in any protracted appeal, and hopefully we'll obtain the relief, but that's subject to your hearing our case and deciding whether all the relief that we've requested is appropriate. So with that introduction, I'd like to just run through the exhibits that are part of our plan set. We have them on a memory stick, so they are on the board, but these are all in your package. A1 is our existing zoning application, and it sets forth all of the various requests for relief that we believe are necessary in order to do the plan.
Fred, why is some of it highlighted?
I highlighted them because there is a slight discrepancy between the wording in the application and what was in the resolution of the Board of Commissioners. We believe it's all the same relief. The wording's just a little bit different, and we'll explain those differences to you. But I didn't want you not to be aware that there were slight wording differences on that. It's essentially the same relief. No different. We'll explain that to you. But that is the application. A2 is the plan that we are requesting the relief with reference to. This shows the maintenance of the existing house and garage on Lot 1. If you do look at A2, it has several sheets. It has several sheets that are attached. We left off sheets 5 of 7 and 7 of 7 of that plan set because it just showed details. It didn't show anything in plans. It was just some of the engineering details. But the third sheet of that set shows the lots. And on that third sheet, you will see the existing lot is noted there as parcel A, and the lot on which a new home would be built is actually comprised of what is noted there as parcel B and parcel C. Each of those parcels has 25 feet of frontage on Lawson Avenue, 25-foot width. Parcel A has 75 feet in width. Parcel A is oversized, and we'll go into the numbers, in terms of the minimum lot area in the R4 district. Parcel B and C are to be consolidated. That's what was approved by way of subdivision. And they are 17 square feet short of the minimum lot area. And that is the parcel. So if you look at parcel B and C on sheet 3 of that plan set, it is the same as lot 2 on the first sheet of that plan set. So there's different nomenclature, and I wanted to address that point. A3 is the existing deed to the property from the prior owner, to our client, Sleepy Valley Holdings. And you will see in that deed description, the entire property is described as a series of 25-foot wide lots with the 3 of the lots constituting parcel A and 2 of the lots constituting, 2 of the lots being parcel B and parcel C. A4 is the resolution that was approved by the Board of Commissioners on August 14th, 2023, approving the subdivision of the property into 2 lots. And if you go through that, it will describe exactly what I had described to you, namely the approval of the 2-lot subdivision with 2 new homes. The second whereas clause in that resolution refers to the alternate subdivision plan. That's the plan that we're coming before you tonight with, the alternate subdivision plan, so that when you look at that resolution, it's the alternate subdivision plan. Now, the alternate subdivision plan on the plan itself, it's called the reverse subdivision plan, so that the alternate subdivision plan and the reverse subdivision plan are identical. It's called reverse subdivision plan on the plan itself that was approved by the commissioners, but the resolution referred to it as the alternate subdivision plan. And in that whereas, in the third whereas clause, the various items of relief that are necessary to implement that plan are set forth in the resolution. We had provided those items to the board at the time of subdivision. They had set them forth in their resolution, and we'll describe to you the difference with what's highlighted in yellow. Mr. Yan, in his testimony, will describe that to you. A5 and A6 are simply the plans that were referred to in the resolution. A5 is the subdivision plan that was approved with 2 new homes. A6 is the subdivision plan, the alternate or reverse subdivision plan that we are seeking variances for tonight. A7 is an aerial photograph, a Google area of the property, which is generally outlined in that red box on that aerial plan. So that's where it's located on Lawson. You can see on the lower side of the house is where the lot is located that would contain the new home. A8 is 2 sheets. These are Google Earth Street views of the property. And the one is looking from the garage side towards the building lot side of the house. It's looking southeast, and you see the existing garage, driveway, and the house, which are essentially remaining. And if you look at A8B, the second sheet, you're looking back towards the side of the house, towards a bay window. You'll see on that side of the house, there's a bay window that is a little bit closer to the lot line, slightly closer than what would be permitted under the code. That's one of our items of relief. You will see also all the arborvitae that are on the northwest side of the lot that go down along the side lot line where the new home is located. A9 is a series of photographs looking a little bit more directly into the property. There are 4 sheets there, A9A through A9D. So going from the left side of the property to the right side of the property, from the north west, I guess, to the southeast. You see the garage. You see the overhang on the garage. There is going to be a request to keep that overhang and not cut the overhang back, but just leave it the way it is. A9B, you'll see the front porch. Relief is requested to keep that the way it is without cutting it out or back. A9C is the opposite side of the house that shows that bay window for which relief will be requested. And A9D is the lot. And the relief that is required in connection with the lot really are 2 items. One is a variance with respect to the minimum lot area, and the other is that there are slopes on that lot. That area has been graded, and there are areas of steep slope. Mr. Yan will explain that to you, for which a variance is required in order to disturb it. And for good measure, we have also requested a special exception for the drainage line that comes off the house, because the code talks about that being permitted by way of special exception, but the line is actually within that portion of the lot that's going to be disturbed to build the house itself. So really that the variance and the special exception overlap in terms of areas. A10 is a photographic rendering that shows the house that Mr. Sposato has in mind to build on this site. A11, Mr. Yan will describe this to you. This is a plan that shows homes on the same side of Lawson Avenue as the existing home, and the various average slopes that go through those lots from Lawson Avenue to the rear of those lots. A12 is a CV of Mr. Yan, our civil engineer. So those are the exhibits. And rather than me going through the items of relief, I would like to just have Mr. Yan do that in his testimony. And I had just a couple of questions of Mr. Sposato, if he could be sworn.
About
Yes.
Trumbull, sorry. Just for my clarification, as it relates to Lot A, the existing dwelling, sounds like most of the relief there would be considered pre-existing nonconformities, but for the fact that you're subdividing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's a provision in the code, I'm sure you're well aware of it, you deal with it often, where it says that if you are subdividing a lot, that you can't have any nonconformities. And I think that's, 715, that item of relief. But,
But,
So we'll go
and the proposed new lot 1,
yes. Well,
I'm sorry, the proposed new lot 1 with the old house,
yes.
that lot 1 fits all the area and bulk requirements,
It does. Well,
unless it's existing.
correct. We're not looking to make any change to any of the improvements on Lot 1. It's the, as the solicitor has just said, it's the creation of the lot line
Yeah.
that says that we can't keep these nonconformities and do the subdivision. And let me say, just to get it on the record, I think that individually and collectively, these are really de minimis items, as I think you'll see in the testimony.
Including the smaller lot, right? I mean,
Yeah, and including the area of the smaller lot, it comes within 17 square feet of the minimum lot area.
do you want Vince to testify next?
If Mr. Sposato could be sworn, I just wanted to ask him a couple of questions.
I want to ask him about his golf. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and the capacity in which you appear.
I am Vincent Sposato. I am the sole member of Sleepy Valley Holdings and the developer of this property.
Go ahead, Frank.
And Mr. Sposato, I described to the board what transpired between when we were here last and then withdrew the application for this property and where we are tonight and the process that you went through with the Board of Commissioners and the reasons why you are back here tonight having accepted a condition and a willingness to seek the variances that would be necessary to have a subdivision that maintain the existing home and improvements on Lot 1 and build a new home on Lot 2. Did I describe that accurately to the board?
Yes.
All right. And we had an exhibit here, I think it was a 10, was it? That is a photographic rendering of the home that you intend to build. Is this show what it is that you would like to build on Lot 2?
Similar. Yeah, very similar.
Okay. And have you built this home before in Haverford Township?
I have.
All right. I don't have any other questions of Mr. Sposato.
Ed?
Yes, when you talked about the alternative, this is the alternative plan we're here talking about tonight.
Correct.
In reference, but the plan that you had approved for tearing down the existing dwelling and building 2 separate new lots. Would you need any variances from us?
No.
What about steep slope?
No, because the building lot was wider, we gave that more lot area. We were able to reorient the house by 90 degrees and take advantage of a wider lot and stay off those slopes altogether.
Okay, good. I'm looking at the lot 2 and this the alternative design. And I see that you're collecting all the rooftop drainage and taking it down to a seepage bed beyond the steep slope. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
I guess some of this would be Mr. Yon, but the question is, the runoff that comes from the driveway also goes down toward the house, but I don't see any trench drain collecting into that pipe system.
With the board's permission, I'd like Mr. Yon to address that.
Thank you. Okay.
Is that it, Ed?
Yep.
Jess?
On Exhibit A4, for the decision from the commissioners, it does mention that the planning commission put certain conditions on their approval. What were those conditions?
The same as were imposed by the board.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And let me say, this plan was recommended, that we're here before you tonight seeking the variances for, was recommended by the Township Planning Commission, by the County Planning Commission. It has been reviewed by the township engineer, and that was part of the approval process for the subdivision.
And it appears that Lot 2, the house itself does not need any variance besides the steep slope. Is that correct?
The house on Lot 2 doesn't need any
Besides
variances.
the lot area
other than
and the steep
lot area,
slope.
the steep slopes, and for good measure, we have thrown in a special exception for the line that goes back, but it's really, we did that for belt and suspenders. We didn't think we needed to do it because it's within the already disturbed steep slope area in connection with the house, but we've added that.
I do have one question, Mr.
Go ahead.
Do you know whether this lot size is unusual for this neighborhood, the smaller lot size?
As far as I know, it's not. I think the lot 1 is oversized for the neighborhood. We actually have neighbors here, but this is pretty much a standard conforming lot in the neighborhood.
I was just referring to your aerial view or the lot view, and it looks like there's a number of lots.
Yeah, if I can comment on this, and this is my, what I surmised by having looked at the development history here. This was a Penfield development plan. We have the original development plan. This whole tract was carved up into 25-foot wide lots. So I think what happened back then, this is before zoning. They came in 1924 in Haverford Township. This was in the early 1900s that this tract was developed. So the developer back then just creates a bunch of 25-foot lots, and it's, well, how many would you like? It's like pancakes. Do you want to stack of 2 or 3 or 4, depending upon what you want to build. So I think what is likely happened over time is you had lots developed at different widths, probably for the most part in 25-foot segments, whether somebody built a twin on using 50 feet, or whether they said, I want a little more breathing room here, I'm going to take a 75-foot lot and build my house on that. So I think what you have when you go down all of this, through this tract, you'll find different lot areas, but for the most part, with 25-foot segments combined in some fashion.
It's conceivable, and it looks like it to me from what I looked at, that some of these lots 50-foot wide with the same depth would be in the neighborhood of what we're talking about, under the 6,000.
Well, what's interesting here is with 70, if you look at the plan, and Mr. Yano was going to talk about, you'll see at the rear of this lot, if it hadn't sort of angled into the lot a little bit, you would have the 6,000 square feet. So I think these were actually probably more 3,000 square foot lots on the average when they were originally created. But I think back then, you didn't have focus on what's the minimum lot area. You had focus on what does somebody really want by way of size of a property to build the house on, and they probably combine those lots. So if you were selling lots, do you want 2, or do you want a bigger lot? Well, then you take 3 of these lots, that type of thing.
Right.
So I think that's likely what happened, although that's just conjecture.
We went with the straighter lot line just because it was more is more uniform with the neighborhood. We could have maybe angled the lot line at the end, but we figured it was de minimis. Let's keep more uniform lots, and
I got you.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
And I've got the Penfield plan. I could show it to you, but I don't want to confuse you with too many exhibits here.
Thank you, that's all.
Yeah, sure.
Jesse?
Is the house on lot 1 currently occupied?
no.
Are you planning on making improvements and,
I am.
but no exterior improvements at all? It's all,
There
would
there
all
will
be
be some exterior improvements, but we want to keep the look and character of the house. That's why we don't want to tear off the eaves and garage and stuff like that.
no additions to it, like, no additions planned?
Not right now, no. I think we have the area to not to have to put an addition on.
No other questions.
Bill?
No questions. Thank you.
Neither do I. Thanks, Vince.
Chris?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and the capacity in which you appear?
Christopher Charles Yon. I'm a professional engineer. I'm the civil engineer for this project.
Fromhold, if you wouldn't mind, I'm not sure Mr. John has been before this board before, if you could just go through briefly qualifications to qualify.
Sure. And I just inadvertently turned this off. Chris, A12 is your CV, is that correct?
Yes.
Would you provide the board just a highlight of your educational background and professional experience as a civil engineer?
And speaking on microphone so that people on TV can hear you.
Yes, I graduated from Boyertown High School in 1997, and then I went to Villanova University where I studied at the College of Engineering. I graduated in 2001. I became a professional engineer in 2006. I first started working for Mommy and Associates in Bryn Mawr. I have presented a few times in front of the Haverford Zoning Hearing Board, as well as Radnor and Lower Merion and some other municipalities along the main line. Mainly what we work on are small single-family residential projects.
And you prepared all of the plans that have been introduced as exhibits in this proceeding?
Yes.
What I would like you to do is start by addressing the question, have I explained in my description to the board the history of this accurately as you understand it? And the answer to that is?
Yes, I agree.
Is there anything that you would like to either correct or modify in any way?
Before you do that, I'm assuming you would like to have actually qualified as an expert in
Yes.
civil engineering?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's an objection from one of the board members, you're accepted as an expert.
Thank you.
An expert. I was waiting for it, Ernie. I was waiting.
I didn't want to interrupt them.
Keep a complete, clear record.
And I don't believe you missed anything, Fred. Should I answer?
And nothing that you would like to explain or modify, so we can get right into my questions of you.
Right. Should I answer Mr. McGarvey's question?
If you would start off by answering that question about that pipe going back to the basin at the rear of the property.
Yes, so we did run through the stormwater design, was submitted and reviewed by the township engineer, and in both this plan and the standard plan, we only needed to control the roof area, and the driveway was able to go uncontrolled and still meet the rate and volume requirements, and so that's why we did not have a drain to capture the driveway.
Yeah, but we're looking at the variances for discharging to a steep slope.
Yes.
And that's what I'm concerned, that you're asking for a variance to be able to build on a steep slope, and taking concentrated flow and putting it down the side of the property could cause erosion over the embankment.
Okay, so the driveway area so you asking about the pipe, or you asking about the drainage area from the driveway? The area from the driveway is very small, and so I don't believe there'll be an erosion problem in between the two houses. There'll be about 16 feet, or it's
Well, you can see from the existing contours that there are currently a swale that had formed along between the two properties, which is being eliminated with the grading.
So we do have some proposed grading next to the proposed house that will, include a swale there in between the two property lines. And one of the comments from the township engineer was we were trying to keep the disturbance minimal next to the house, and he asked that we feather out the grading from house to house to help better define that swale.
So what's the size of the pipe that goes down beside the house?
It is a
And
6-inch
maybe, Chris,
pipe.
you could put up on the screen so everybody can see that. I think that is should be A2.
It's a 6-inch pipe on either side of the house.
And you're referring to sheet 4 of 7 of Exhibit A2? And
Yeah.
is that shown on that sheet?
Yes.
So that pipe wouldn't be large enough to have a trench drain going into it? To keep water out of your garage? I'm assuming there's a garage, I don't have that on the plan, but.
There is a garage, and so it's graded so that from the edge of the garage, 10 feet towards it's graded away from the garage to go 10 feet away towards the street, and then the area from the street is graded down so that there's a low point in the driveway that then goes from the, call it center of the lot towards lot 1, along that low point in the driveway, and then the water does travel down through that swale in between the two properties.
Okay, thank you.
Jessica?
Just have a question about the new trees that you're planting. The oak tree that's noted on Lot 2 is currently right under the existing overhead electrical line, or the proposed. So would you accept a condition to just move the tree so that it's not under the power line?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That it, Jess? Jesse?
No questions.
Bill?
No questions, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Yan can go through each of the points of relief.
I don't think we need that one.
If that's not necessary, I think you probably understand what is being requested as to lot number 1. And on lot number 2, the one question I would like to ask him, if in his professional opinion, the grading that is proposed and necessary and the improvements where they're located on lot 2 within steep slope areas, will the work that needs to be done in any way be contrary to the purposes to be served by the steep slope regulations in Haverford Township, in your professional opinion?
No, I don't believe so. The majority of the slopes that are in question are at the rear of the building, and so by putting the building there, they're actually eliminated.
And in your professional opinion, you don't believe there would be any adverse effects on erosion, either on this property or adjacent properties or the property to the rear of this property?
No.
I have no other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't have any other witnesses. Does the board have any questions, either for me or Mr. Sposato or Mr. Yan at this point? Or are you satisfied that you understand our application?
Any other questions, Ed?
No.
Jess?
No.
Jesse?
No.
Bill?
No, thank you.
Neither do I.
Thank you.
One last thing, I'm assuming, did we move?
Yeah,
to-
I'd
record?
move for the admission, yeah,
That it.
thank you.
With that, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail that wishes to testify. Anyone that received regular mail? Any other residents? Please come forward.
Good evening.
I need to spare you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I
And
do.
your full name and address for the record, please.
Is Dr. Stephen, with PH, Finley, Finley. And I'm from 758 Lawson Avenue.
And what would you like to tell us this evening?
I just wanted to, I think maybe the Phillies game took away the audience, the other group that was supposed to be here tonight. I don't blame them for that. I feel, I'm sure they would allow me to speak for them. We have had a pretty good group for the Board of Commissioners meetings, And I should just speak very shortly. We were just as the immediate neighbors, right? And of course, I'm next door to the existing structure, Mr. Carr's house of many years, a lovely old stone home with the original stained glass and a number of features. And all along, once we heard of what had happened, we got together, and I think we've consistently tried to just plead for the opportunity for the existing structure to remain. So quite simply, just very much in support of the idea, have no questions about the subdivision, just hoping that we could maintain the integrity as much as we can of the neighborhood. And I know that Mr. Posado has done lovely work in our area with other old homes. My home's from 1920. I think Mr. Carr's home's a little more recent than my home, but we're clearly in a situation where we hope as much as we can to preserve the kind of character and the integrity of the architecture. So I quite simply hope that it goes that way and we can keep the older home.
Any questions? Ed, Jess?
No.
Jess? Bill? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else that received certified or regular mail? Do you want to talk?
Okay, sure.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address, please.
Lillian, Lillian, Fair, Thayer, Finley, Finley, 758 Lawson Avenue. And I just wanted to say again that we are neighbors to the left of Lot 1, and that we've been in the township for over 30 years next to this house. Our house was built in 1920. It has some lovely character. It's an old stone home, as does 774. It has stained glass windows, wainscoting, beautiful features that cannot be replaced in a new home. And so we are requesting that that home stay with the renovations that Mr. Sposato has talked about in order to keep the integrity and also just the flavor and the tenor of the neighborhood in Haverford Township.
Okay, thank you. Question? No? No. Thank you. With that, we will close the record on this case, and the decision will be rendered either this evening. If we're unable to do a decision this evening, one would be rendered at our next regularly scheduled meeting on November 2nd.
Thank you.
Take care, friend. Save us.
Thank you.
Okay. How about if we take this exhibit? She has to open that.
I did already. I got
Oh, you
it.
did?
I got it. Yeah.
Let's take two. We'll go off the record, Jeff.
We're on.
All right, we'll reconvene the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board. Our next case is Z23-25, Amy and Leon Kent, owners of 21 Myrtle Avenue, Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2208-007870, who seek variances from provisions of section 182-207C4, 182-207C9, 182-207C5A, and 182-207C6A to exceed the permitted 1,400 square foot, 30% building coverage by 308 square feet, or 36.4%. To exceed the permitted 2,160 square feet, 45% impervious coverage by 468 square feet, or 54.7%. To continue the 9.33 feet front yard encroachment and to continue the non-conforming side yard encroachment of 1.33 feet, a 15.12 foot aggregate where 16 feet is required, to enclose the current screened-in porch. Extend the enclosure by 11.8 feet by 9 feet and add a new 3 foot by 20.67 foot walkway, Property is on R5 and located in the 8th Ward. Amy, I presume.
Yes,
Please raise your right hand, Amy. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And your full name and address for the record, please?
Amy Kurt, 21 Myrtle Avenue in Havertown, PA, 19083.
Okay. Now, you heard a little bit in the prior hearing about exhibits and exhibit marking.
Yes,
So do you have any, and I know our solicitor gave you a little bit of guidance, marking exhibits and
yes,
things.
I'm just going to go over with the arrows of what I have posted on there from the PDF. So like my zoning board application will be A1, the acknowledged paper will be A2, our deed would be A3,
Wait, slow down. A1 is the zoning app. A2 is what?
the, what did I say?
Acknowledgement?
Yes. 3 is the deed.
Okay.
A4 is the appeal letter, the denial of the permit.
So the denial letter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
7 will be the signatures of our.
That was
Oh, I'm
4
sorry.
is the
1,
denial.
2, 3, 4. A5 is signatures of neighbors.
Okay.
And A6 is my plot plan.
Okay. Everybody have? Good? All right. Please tell us a little bit about what you would like to do and why, Amy.
Yes, hi, good evening. My name's Amy Kurtz. I'm homeowner of 21 Myrtle Avenue. I live in a 2-story colonial with a current screen porch that is 2/3 the width of our house, and I'm asking to extend and enclose it to the full width of the house and add a new walkway. I am seeking variances for the front yard and the aggregate side yard setbacks and overages of the building and the impervious coverages. And I apologize for all the numbers that I'm going to be stating shortly, but I hope it will help you understand the hardship as to why I'm appealing. Per my application, I'm asking for an additional 308 square feet of building coverage and 468 of impervious coverage. However, if you can kindly factor in that the pre-existing non-conforming porch, I've been at my home for 15 years, and one of the neighbors that have signed our petitions said that our porch have been in existence since she's been residing in her home for 23 years. I'm really only asking for an additional 44 square feet and 66 square feet respectively of building and impervious coverage, which I think is a bare minimum additional square footage. We're asking for it to accommodate for our family of 6. We have 3 pets, 2 of which are over 60 pounds. I do understand that we're already over the allowable maximum, but if you can just factor in that if you consider the porch, it's a lot less than what I'm asking per the initial application. The maximum allowable is 30%. My pre-existing is at 35.5, and I'm asking for 36.4. The maximum allowable impervious coverage is 45%. My pre-existing is 53.4, and I'm asking for 54.7%. The existing porch already encroaches on the 30 feet front yard setback by a little over 9 feet. It's 20.67 feet from the right-of-way of Myrtle Avenue, and we're asking to extend that encroachment to the westerly front side of the house. And with regards to the aggregate side yard, we have a narrow lot. I think the minimum is 16 feet, and it's beyond my control that our side yard's only 15.12 feet wide. I've presented a letter regarding this appeal and obtained almost 20 signatures of neighbors who are in favor of our renovation. It would not affect the characteristic of the neighborhood. I'm one of the oldest resident within my age bracket in my neighborhood with one of the largest families household size. You know, we moved here 15 years ago for a better community, school district, to be closer to work. So we're committed to remaining residents of
Amy,
Haverford
on your
Township.
petition, did your neighbors on both sides and across the street?
Yes, my
sign?
immediate, yeah, we went the full span, Bennington and all that too.
Is anybody opposed?
No, I mean, they were actually, like, whatever's gonna make the neighborhood looks good, like, you're actually taking the initiative, to better your home value.
Bill?
I mean, just, you're taking what is currently a screened-in porch,
Yes.
right, that, painted, and covers 3/5 of your front of the house.
Yes.
And really just not going any closer to the street, but just extending that same porch all the way across.
Yes.
Right. And on your street, I realize that, you have some support from your neighbors who have signed your petition. But are there other homes that have a full-width front porch on your street?
Not full width, but there's 3 in a row, 1, 2, 3, right consecutive, that are already in that, we're the same distance from the front yard setback.
Okay, and I'm sort of focusing a little bit on the porches of the other houses.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a porch that runs the full width of their house on your street? I'm trying to figure out whether this is essentially staying in concert with the other houses along the same frontage, at least on your side of the street?
The other two, it stops where their garages end.
So they have a garage that's not
Adjacent.
detached, it's part of
Yes.
their house?
Yes, and
So
whereas-
they can't have a porch that goes all the way across?
Whereas I have a detached garage in the back.
Okay, and the proposed addition would not change the roof line of the existing porch? It would continue to just go right up to underneath the second-story windows?
Correct.
And is that going to be just more of the same porch space screened in?
Yes.
Or will that be enclosed living space connected from inside the house?
Oh, the plan is to have enclosed living space from inside the house.
So the existing porch, are you going to weatherize that and
Correct.
enclose that?
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
be heated.
And heated. Okay, and so where you have a window currently that would be covered by this new porch, is that going to become like a doorway or something that allows you?
Yes, a walkway.
A walkway?
Yes.
And so what would this space be used for? Either the space that's currently a porch or the new space to the side of that?
One half would be an office, and the other one would be a spare room.
Okay, so you'd have like a living room or a den or something that's like where the porch is now?
Yes.
Okay, and then where the new porch is going, that's earmarked for like a home office, is that right?
Yes.
All right, I have no other questions right now.
Jesse?
Could you go over the dimensions again? I believe you said something about 44 square feet, and that was where I lost you.
Oh, yes, because I currently have a shed that we are using for storage, so that shed's going to be removed. And there is currently a walkway leading to the porch.
I see. So you were talking about the net
Yes,
additional. Okay.
yes.
So do you have the rough size of the addition that you're putting on?
It is 11. The addition will be on my application. 11.8 times 8 feet.
That's the new space.
Yes, the new extended porch.
Okay, so that's about 90-something square feet. Okay. Mr. Rhodes said that you were extending the roof line as it is, and that means I assume you'll extend the guttering system?
Yes.
And so, do you know how the downspouts currently route? Do you know where the water goes?
Yes, our downspout goes into the driveway, like it falls down into the driveway.
Often in these cases, we ask for a condition that the rainwater would be So as not to negatively impact the neighbors, and you would be okay with that to make sure that
Yes,
the...
we have a downward sloping driveway, and there is I'm assuming some type of stormwater drainage pipe in front of the porch that will remain there.
Right, we just want to make sure you're not directing additional water towards your neighbors and that it
Yes,
be managed
understood.
responsibly. Okay.
Yes.
And would the materials that you're proposing, would they be similar to the current house?
Yes.
Are you doing any other improvements to the exterior of the house?
No.
So just the addition. And then you mentioned that you're taking down a shed to help offset some of the additional area.
Correct.
I think did it also say in your application that your lot is undersized?
I think our width should be 50 and we're 48 wide.
Is the overall square footage of the lot less than what?
It is. I'm at 4,800 and per R5, it's 5,500.
Okay, so that is also driving up your percentages of your
Yes.
coverage. Okay. I don't have any other questions.
Amy, you said you have a family of 6 that live there?
Yes. With husband, wife, 4 kids.
Now, you're requesting a variance, so a variance requires a hardship.
Yes.
So you need a need,
Yes.
really. And I think you simply misspoke when you said to Mr. Rhodes that it was going to be a spare room, because that would imply that it's not necessary. So can you tell us a little more about why you want to?
I only have 4 bedrooms, so we really need a 5th bedroom.
And you work from home, or
My husband does.
so he needs no work
Office, yeah.
needs, right?
Yes.
And, okay. Jess?
You asked my question. I wanted to make sure that 3 dogs weren't part of the 6.
No.
Ed?
Yeah, the question I have is that even though there is an existing porch, it wasn't an enclosed living space. And then normally when we approve front yard setbacks for porches and things with hardships, it's usually with the condition that we don't enclose it. So this is a little unusual. How would you deal with the entranceway without would you encroach on further to be able to put some type of roof over top of to get into your house?
Oh, that's where the new walkway would come in. Instead of entering from the side of the house, which is on the plot plan, we would be entering from the center of the newly expanded porch.
Yeah, I understand that, but do you plan to have any type of roof over top of that entrance?
Yeah, from where it was. It'll just be a similar slanting slope.
Your doorway, is it going to be recessed, or is it going to be flush with the front of that?
I don't think she understands what you're asking. So you're going to have this porch that comes out, just as you do now. It's going to be wider. The room's going to be enclosed and heated. To get into your house, you're going to have to walk through that room.
Yes.
Right? So once your front door is on the front side of this enclosed porch, I think what Ed's asking is, do you plan to put any sort of a roof covering or anything immediately over the front door? Or will it just be flush with no covering?
No covering flushed.
Okay. And I'm assuming that since this was built as a porch, have you talked to anybody about constructing it? Would you have to take everything down and put in a foundation for an additional structure?
We would like to, just because the current porch is cracking. I think all they did was put a couple, it looks like it's maybe about this high up. We don't really feel that the foundation's strong enough, and if we're going to be building a living space addition, I do have plans to dig down, provide a further, more stable, so that will last longer.
Okay, that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Jesse?
No, no others.
Bill, anything else?
No other questions, thank you.
Jessica, anything else? Ed?
No.
I don't have any other questions. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No.
Would you like to move your exhibits into the record?
Yes, please.
Minute? I do have one other, maybe. The finish on the addition will be in keeping with the character of the house?
It is.
Houses,
Yes.
like siding or something? Or,
Correct, yes.
did you?
Yeah.
Sorry. Wow, rough boy. board tonight.
Okay.
If there's nothing else you'd like to add, I'll ask if there's anyone present that received certified mail to testify, anyone present that received regular mail, any other residents of Haverford Township. With that, we'll close the record on this case, and the decision will be rendered either this evening, if not this evening, then at our next regularly scheduled hearing on November 2nd. We're in recess. We're not adjourned.
You don't have to say.
Okay.
We'll go off the record.
Margie or Kelly.
All right, we'll resume the meeting of the Haverford Township Zoning Hearing Board of Thursday, October 19th, 2023. Before we get to the possible decisions, Jess, you have minutes that you would like to move?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve the October 5th meeting minutes as edited by Bill.
I'm gonna make a second. I'm not
Second
supposed
that.
to do it from the chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you, Jess. Now, with regard to case Z 23-24, Sleepy Valley Holdings LLC, I suppose I should read at least some of this into the record because they have an additional case that's pending, but, so I'll go on to say, Z 23-24, Sleepy Valley Holdings LLC, owner of 774 Lawson Avenue. Havertown, PA, DC folio number 2208-0064-900, and I'll stop there unless someone specifically requests that I read the rest of the description into the record. Bill, are you prepared to vote?
I am.
Jesse, are you prepared to vote? Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes.
Jessica, are you prepared to vote?
Yes.
Would you please take that decision, Jessica?
Yes, I would make a motion to approve the requested variances for the alternative plan, which keeps the existing house on Lot 1 with the following conditions. The new oak tree on Lot 2 will not be planted directly below the overhead power line. Stormwater on Lot 2 will not adversely impact adjoining properties, and work will be complete within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
So, Jess, you said you wanted to make a motion. You're just moving that we approve it, right? You're not making a motion.
Sorry.
No worries. Ed, are you prepared to vote?
Yes.
How do you vote?
I vote in favor.
I already asked everybody if they were prepared. Bill, how do you vote?
I agree.
Jesse?
Agree?
And so do I. That application is approved with those conditions, 5-0. With regard to KZ 23-25, Amy and Leon Kent, owners of 21 Myrtle Avenue. Jesse, are you prepared to vote?
Yes.
Ed, are you prepared?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
So am I. Jesse, would you please take that decision?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. With regards to case Z 23-25, I would vote to approve the requested relief with the following reasonable conditions. 1, that stormwater be managed so as not to adversely impact neighbors. 2, that the project be completed within 1 year and in accordance with the notes of testimony.
Bill?
I agree.
Jessica?
I disagree.
Ed?
I'm in opposition.
I vote to approve with Jesse's conditions. That application is approved, 3-2. Any other administrative matters or anything we need to discuss? Then we are adjourned.